to the Recovery Daily Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Abbasi. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. And I just recorded I don't even know how many, 10, at least 10 versions of a little tiny short video to promote Balance Awareness Week for Vestibular Disorders Association. Yeah. I just kept messing up. I don't know, you try to get it perfect. Like this, I can just be me and I can mess up. I can even forget what I'm saying and it doesn't matter. Like I know I have an agreement with myself that I never go back and edit the video so that it doesn't hurt my head or anything. So I get to just show up. And that one was like, I kept having to hit record. Finally, I realized, why do I keep hitting stop and then record when I can just keep the camera rolling and I can try again and then edit it afterwards. So, I mean, that's harder on my head, but I was kind of tired of hitting record and stop and record and stop. Anyway, I finished it. And I'm sending it to the Vestibular Disorders Association. They asked me to make a little about me that was 60 seconds long. Oh, I didn't even see how long it is. Hopefully it's short enough. Okay. So now that pressure is off, today I wanted to talk about a few things. One is that I woke up feeling groggy again, feeling the vestibular hangover feeling. And it's because I still went to bed too late. And that's because my freaking computer keeps not having enough storage on it. So I don't know. I got a smaller Mac and I regret it. So I might need to trade it in. But I keep running out of storage because I'm dealing with very large files. So I was up late trying to free up space in order to get yesterday's podcast uploaded onto Spotify. So that was kind of a pain in the behind. So I woke up kind of groggy, but when I sat down after I let the dogs out, I got my coffee. I love my mornings. I sat down in my little futon couch thing and I got my remarkable writing tablet out and I thought, okay, I'm ready to download information from my higher power. I'm ready to sit down, hear what my higher power has to tell me through these people in my program and my experiences and all of this stuff. And I kind of got a little psyched up about being in the meeting. And I don't always do that. Sometimes I just show up, I'm never showing up ugh, I freaking hate this or anything like that. But it's very rare that I sit down and I'm pumped up to, okay, what am I going to learn today? But that's what I felt like today. And then the meeting started and the story that I heard was talking about the author had a resentment. And the reading was about step 9, doing our resentments. And she had a resentment and she wasn't willing to make her amends to this person for a while. And then what I was hearing was she wasn't ready. And I immediately connected to the fact that I sat down this morning and I was ready. Yeah, I was ready to download information from my higher power. And not being ready yet is I don't have enough information yet. I don't have enough of the tools that I'm learning from the program to make my amends. And it's interesting because I experienced the same thing. I doing my amends with my ex-husband, the kid's father, I felt the same way. If you're listening, hi, thanks for listening. I I felt the same way. Like I wasn't ready to make an amends. I was feeling like, well, this is because of him, this is because of him, and I wasn't ready because I didn't yet have the tools. I hadn't downloaded enough information from my higher power. I didn't learn enough about my role. And I went through steps 4 and 5 where I looked at my resentments and what my role was, but I hadn't yet really gotten clarity on it. So I wasn't ready yet. And eventually I became ready. I became ready to see that I played a role. And you know what happened actually? I've never actually sat down with him and done an amends. I reached out to him asking if I could do an amends. And when I did that, the amends kind of rolled off of my tongue. And it was like a conversation that just like happened. So it didn't happen the way that I planned. And I think that quite often our amends don't happen the way that we plan. But when I was ready to look at my part and my part only. It's not looking at what the other person did to us. It doesn't have anything to do with it. He doesn't have anything to do with my amends. My amends is a gift to me. It's not a gift to him. When we make amends to people, we are making what feels wrong feel right. I'm cleaning my house. I'm cleaning my side of the street. And if I don't have the right tools, just like I'm cleaning the house yesterday, spent the whole day cleaning the house to prepare for the photographer to come. And if I didn't have the right tools, I wouldn't be able to clean the house. And so I go to my meetings so that I can acquire the right tools and enough tools. So having resistance to doing an amends is not failure. And there's probably anger that's holding you back, but that resistance is really it's the front cover of a book that has your next lesson in it. That's what that resistance is. So if I'm stuck, then my higher power is highlighting a blind spot in my recovery. And it could be a grudge that I'm holding. So we should do a little x-ray of what a grudge looks like. I'm a big grudge keeper, and I always have been. If somebody treats me wrong, like that's it. They're not going to be in my life anymore. And it doesn't feel good to hold a grudge, but yet I do it anyway because it's like, what I feel like is it's going to feel worse if I swallow my pride and I just give in. If I just say, okay, I'm not going to hold on to this grudge anymore, it makes me feel like, and I just talked about this yesterday, I think, it makes me feel like I'm letting them walk all over me. Like, okay, well, I'm not going to be mad at you anymore. So that means everything that you did is okay. And that's not what's happening. What I'm doing, there's a couple things. I am letting go of my ego. I'm letting go of my desire to be right. I instead want to be happy. And I talked about that yesterday too. So I am going to rename my grudge And what are we going to name it? I think what the grudge ends up being is humility. And that's what I talked about yesterday. I think that the key to starting that spiritual engine is humility. And as long as I'm holding on to that grudge and my ego is so sticky, my ego is so sticky and it's so hard to get rid of it, to pull it off of whatever it is that it's stuck to. Um, but when I can, rub some peanut butter on it and make it less sticky, I can start admitting my part of the problem. And this is really a challenging topic for me because when I have a sponsee that comes to me and says, "This happened to me and I don't see my role, I didn't deserve that to happen to me. So how do I make, how do I do step 5? How do I identify what my role is in that?" And I haven't yet mastered what the answer is to that. I feel like the answer is working on forgiveness. And forgiveness was something that I focused on in my notes a lot today. Um, Forgiveness is, and I go back to what I started out with, that came to mind when I was sharing this morning. Forgiveness is not a gift to the person that you're forgiving, it is a gift to yourself. It's like canceling that emotional debt that you've been holding on to, that's been weighing on you. It's it's acceptance, but not acceptance that not acceptance can sometimes be confused in my head for like approval. Acceptance doesn't mean I approve of what you do or what you did. Acceptance is acknowledging what you did, acknowledging this happened and this is what it did to me. So now I'm going to look at it. I'm going to stop ignoring it and do a reality check. Like acceptance is the first part of it, is not looking away anymore, but looking at it and saying, yes, this happened. And I'm going to stop ignoring it. And then forgiveness is it's a hard one, right? It's that's what I can be talking about it like I am right now and then start thinking, but how does that apply if somebody was abused, you know? Well, I think it boils down to like anger. And um I heard somebody say this morning, and I've heard this before, and I'll probably not say it correctly, but it's like anger is like holding on to a hot coal and hoping the other person gets burned. And I think that that is a super cool metaphor for anger because forgiveness allows you to drop the hot coal. That's all it's doing. Forgiveness is not changing the life of the other person. And that's what it feels like. Before I practiced step 9 and actually got to the point where I was willing to forgive some people that were a little more difficult to forgive, where I felt like, well, that wasn't my fault. Um, well, first of all, I did have a lot of fault in places that I didn't recognize, and that required me to get humble. Um, the other thing is that I'm not trying to, it feels like if I forgive you, you're going to have a better life. If I don't forgive you, your life's not going to be so good. And I want your life to not be so good. But it doesn't have anything to do with the other person. It really doesn't. Forgiveness is simply setting me free. It's dismantling that the emotions that I can almost feel it. My back has been really sore lately, not from stress, but from doing all of my exercises to strengthen my back and work on my vestibular stuff and all of that. And what I feel like forgiveness does is like when your shoulders are like really tight and you can feel it like up your neck and you're like pulling on your neck from side to side to like stretch it out. Well, when I forgive somebody, it's like that is just released. That's the metaphor I would use. Um, the resentment is like clenching everything in me and I can't let go. It's like I'm holding on to something and I can't let go. And when I forgive somebody, I'm saying to myself, you can let it go now. You can let it, you don't have to hold on anymore. It's not, there's the only thing that's happening when I hold on is I'm building up energy. And where is that energy? Where is the energy storing up when I'm holding on? It's within me. It's not impacting the other person. If I can hold on as tight as possible and I am doing nothing to the other person. So if I forgive, I'm finally letting it go. I'm letting it go. I'm allowing myself to just sit back and live again. Um, so how do I do it? I have to get honest with myself. And the only way that I have found to get super, super incredibly honest with myself is to share what's wrong, share what I'm holding on to with another person. And then once I've been able to talk that through, I have been able to tell the other person, okay, it feels good. It feels good to have freaking finally got that out of me. Um, I think in some situations we need to confront the person that we need to forgive. In some situations we don't or we can't. So in those situations, I think it helps to visualize handing those hot coals over to your higher power or your concept of God. And I just envision his hands to be ice, and they just melt. And they're not going to hurt him. He is well prepared to hold all of our coals. Um, so that's all I have to say about that. So, expecting afterwards, feeling a little lighter, I think spiritual fitness is what happens for me when I'm able to go through this process of looking at my relationships. And I start feeling a little more courageous with each amends that I do. I would be lying to you if I didn't tell you that my heart was beating in my throat when I had to do my amends. I was super, super afraid. I don't know what I was afraid of. I can just tell you that I did not like to open my mouth and talk about real stuff. I was afraid of crying, number one, and I did cry on several occasions when I did my amends. But was I afraid that somebody was gonna like attack back at me? Not really. I mean, there was nobody that I did an amends to that I felt like was gonna yell at me or anything like that. But it's just this stuff is stuff we were drinking over. It's the real deal. It's the real hard stuff. And to be courageous doesn't have to feel like without fear. Being courageous doesn't mean that I'm not scared. It just means that I'm going to do it even though I'm scared. And I have found that when I do that, when I do things even though, despite my fear, I feel freedom. Like every time I feel freedom. It's what it's made me do is when I start feeling fearful of something, I actually want to get rid of it as fast. I want to hand over the hot coals as fast as possible because the suffering is not in the action. The suffering is in the holding on to. And I learned that, I don't know. I've been learning that over the course of my sobriety and in my stroke recovery and vestibular recovery. I have learned the same thing because that anxiety follows me everywhere I go. And I still have it, but I'm not afraid of it anymore. I don't feel like I need alcohol to make that go away. I use it as a trigger to take an action instead and take an action quick. I want to get the stuff done so that I don't have to hold on to it because it doesn't feel good. If I hold on to it, my digestive system gets all screwy. My vestibular, like the fogginess, the like visual and cognitive fogginess that I experience, it's very similar to the panic attack feeling that I used to have back when I was drinking and I had these terrible panic attacks. It's like I have no cognitive function left over to be able to make decisions, make any important decisions. So, yeah, I like to let it go. I like to drop the hot coals like quick like. So, thank you for listening today and have a great one. I'll talk to you tomorrow.